So, what I wanted to talk about, because I just like to share new ideas with the hoverheads, is the eighth dimension. Because I haven't really been talking about it so much. I was doing the seventh dimensional hoverboard, and now I'm doing the 10th dimensional hoverboard, but I haven't really talked about what happened to the eighth and ninth. I also did the ninth dimensional hoverboard. I did ninth dimensional tests. I didn't do an actual ninth dimensional hoverboard per se, though I suppose you could say I kind of did somewhere in there. Let's go into the eighth dimension, right? So, and some ideas that I had right now in the eighth dimension is one thing about the eighth dimension. I think the eighth dimension is knowledge, or what one of the things that we call that. The way in which we think about knowledge, anyway, is the eighth dimension. And why do I say that? Well, build some context around that as a concept. I sort of kind of think that the sixth dimension is essentially what we would call math. What is quantum, really? It's just, this is my hypothesis, of course, the infinity of calculations, right? So if the sixth dimension is math and calculations, why am I saying that the eighth dimension is knowledge? So one thing that I sort of also think when it comes to dimensions is that when things are two dimensions away from each other, and this is just building context around it, when things are two dimensions apart from each other, their interaction is even one dimension, but two dimensions definitely, their interaction is sort of flowing from one to the next, literally the flow concept. It's really that two-dimensional difference where I think second dimension is also flow. But anyway, eighth dimension, knowledge, also science. What is science, Actually, interestingly enough, I got to think about that a little bit more. But science, also products. What makes something a product? What makes something... This is why the 8 League is so fascinating. Actually, I didn't even tie it together until right now. The 8 League is the concept league. And because this is something I've been thinking for a while, is the concept league. Concepts eventually, concepts are elevated ideas and they become products, and they live outside of time, really. Right, and even definitely outside of 3 dimensions, because, for instance, everyone has an idea of what a telephone is, right? Whether or not, if you say telephone to someone, if they have a phone, they'll think about their cell phone. If they don't have a phone, it's really just an abstract dream, and they never even know when they'll meet their actual telephone. But it's a pervasive concept that can survive decoherence, which is one of the barrier limits to quantum, which is the non-translatable aspects of the math as they move through higher dimensions. And I thought that was very relevant because I think right now knowledge as well is a big issue, which is why when it came to my presidential run, I said I want to invest in science, I want to invest in knowledge. But that was just a brief little foray into what I think is going on in the 8th dimension. I'll leave it there. I'm probably gonna do some more videos on the 8th dimension because there's quite a bit more to talk about there. I really just wanted to bring up that knowledge and science bit. But hoverheads, talk to you soon.